Welcome to the Daily Chuckles Show, hosted by Omar. Please like and subscribe. Little Johnny wants a BMX bike, so he gets down on his knees and writes a letter to God. It says, "Dear God, if I'm good for 1 month, will you get me a BMX bike?" He carefully folds the letter and leaves it at the end of the bed. He lies down under the covers and thinks for a moment. 1 month is too long to be good. He gets up and tears up the letter and writes another one. "Dear God, if I'm good for 1 week, will you get me a BMX bike?" He folds the letter and then thinks, no, 1 week is too long. He writes another letter. "Dear God, if I'm good for 1 day, will you get me a BMX bike?" Looking at the letter, he tears it up. 1 day is too long. He jumps out of his window and heads to the local church. He grabs the statue of Mary, rolls it up in a blanket, rushes back home and shoves it under his bed. He then writes another letter. "Dear God, if you want to see your mother again." Little Johnny comes home from Sunday school with a black eye. His father sees it and says, "Johnny, how many times do I have to tell you not to fight with the other boys?" "But Dad, it wasn't my fault. We were all in church saying our prayers. We all stood up, and my teacher in front of me had her dress in the crack of her butt. I reached over and pulled it out. That's when she hit me." "Johnny," the father said, "you don't do those kind of things to women." Sure enough, the very next Sunday, Johnny came home with the other eye, black and blue. Johnny's father said, "Johnny, I thought we had a talk." "But Dad," Johnny said, "it wasn't my fault. There we were in church saying our prayers. We all stood up, and my teacher in front of us had her dress in the crack of her butt. Then Louis, who was sitting next to me, saw it, and he reached over and pulled it out. Now I know she doesn't like this, so I pushed it back in." One day, little Johnny saw his grandpa smoking his cigarettes. Little Johnny asked, "Grandpa, can I smoke some of your cigarettes?" His grandpa replied, "Can your penis reach your asshole?" "No," said little Johnny. His grandpa replied, "Then you're not old enough." The next day, little Johnny saw his grandpa drinking beer. He asked, "Grandpa, can I drink some of your beer?" His grandpa replied, "Can your penis reach your asshole?" "No," said little Johnny. "Then you're not old enough," his grandpa replied. The next day, little Johnny was eating cookies. His grandpa asked, "Can I have some of your cookies?" Little Johnny replied, "Can your penis reach your asshole?" His grandpa replied, "It most certainly can." Little Johnny replied, "Then go fuck yourself." One day at the end of class, little Johnny's teacher asks the class to go home and think of a story to be concluded with the moral of that story. The following day, the teacher asks for the first volunteer to tell their story. Little Susie raises her hand. "My dad owns a farm, and every Sunday we load the chicken eggs on the truck and drive into town to sell them at the market. Well, one Sunday we hit a big bump, and all the eggs flew out of the basket and onto the road." When the teacher asked for the moral of the story, Susie replied, "Don't keep all your eggs in one basket." Little Lucy went next. "My dad owns a farm, too. Every weekend we take the chicken eggs and put them in the incubator. Last weekend, only 8 of the 12 eggs hatched." Again, the teacher asked for the moral of the story. Lucy replied, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." Next up was little Johnny. "My Uncle Ted fought in the Vietnam War, and his plane was shot down over enemy territory. He jumped out before it crashed, but could only take a case of beer, a machine gun, and a machete. On the way down, he drank the case of beer. Then he landed right in the middle of 100 Vietnamese soldiers. He shot 70 with his machine gun, but then he ran out of bullets. So he pulled out his machete and killed 20 more. Then the blade on his machete broke, so he killed the last 10 with his bare hands." The teacher looked a little shocked. After clearing her throat, she asked what possible moral there could be to this story. "Well," Johnny replied, "don't fuck with Uncle Ted when he's been drinking."